And
Good evening and welcome to the show tonight. On our panel, we have Teresa Burge-Irwin, we have Christine Clegg joining us for the first time tonight, and of course, I'm Joe Anderson. Thank you for just joining us here on discussing ATWDNH. Please sound off in the comments so you are entered into our weekly prize giveaway. Let me start off by kind of defining what it is we're talking about. This episode is about characters that are dead by word of mouth or assumption. We, as an audience, did not see them die, but there is an eyewitness to their death or disappearance. In Season 1, Episode 2, Guts, we are introduced to Morales. Morales and his families are members of the original group, whose leader was Shane, but taken over by Rick when he joins them. After the camp is overrun by walkers, instead of going with Rick and company to Atlanta, Morales takes his family and goes at it on their own. Surprisingly, he shows up again, Sam's family, as a savior in Season 8, Episode 1, The Damned. Madison from Fear the Walking Dead, last words to her children were, "I was afraid to lose this place because I thought you needed it. To stay who you are right now, but you now know it. No one's gone until they're gone." But before we get into this, Christine, would you like to say who won our last week?
Yeah, absolutely. Last week's participation winner is, and I hope I say this right, Mike Giordano. So, well done. And if I didn't say it right, it's just because I'm Australian and it's all different here.
Hey, we all make mistakes, and that's the way it goes.
I think you said it pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't hear Mike complaining, but of course Mike's not here either.
No. Go ahead. Hey.
So let's start off tonight with Negan's wives. Negan had, of course, four or five wives. I'm not for sure. One of them went over to Fear, and that left Frankie, Amber, and was it Tanya or Tanya?
Tanya, I think.
Tanya. Okay.
Yeah, I believe Tanya.
All right. I know that in Season 9, Episode 6, Where Are You Now? After Rick's supposed demise, the sanctuary fell as a community. Most of its residents moved in with other communities, while some decided to start out on their own. I know what happened to Amber. She left the sanctuary and didn't go anywhere, so she's out on her own somewhere, and who knows, she's never been seen again. The same with Tanya. She struck out on her own, and she's never been seen again. But Frankie actually made it to Season 9, Episode 15, The Calm Before. Anybody have anything, know what happened to Frankie there?
So Frankie joined, like she moved to Alexandria, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So yep. There. So was she one of the ones that ended up the Pikes, like through Alpha? Was she on there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Frankie was one of the ones that was decapitated and put on the Pike by Alpha. So, and of course, everybody's favorite Dwight's wife, Sherry, is over on Fear, so we don't have to talk about her.
No. I'm glad she's up at each other. That's so
right.
cool.
Right. Somebody asked, I don't remember who, about Potter. Well, Potter is one of the ones who fell to the season 9. Where are they now? So he was struck off on his own, and he's never been seen again. So that takes care of the sanctuary for this week. Go ahead. What, Christine?
Who is Potter?
Well, he was like one of Negan's, like, right-hand men. He was, I don't know. I remember when he left. He didn't turn up anywhere else. So he definitely just decided not to.
Recall him.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's no wonder. I mean, he wasn't named too much. I know that he was just there, and then most of the people from the sanctuary, if they made it into another episode, they went to with whenever Negan moved them over to the sweatshop to make bullets. That's where, of course, Frankie and Tanya and Amber was there. They went to make bullets with and serve food and everything to the people there. And then after that is when they all disappeared, after the war was over with. So.
Yeah, I mean, Potter wasn't like Dwight. He wasn't. We didn't see as much of him. So,
right.
But we definitely have not heard where he's gone. So, like, he could still be out there.
Yep. I mean, that's right. We don't know. He was never killed off, so he could always come back at any time, I guess. Mm. But that's really pretty much everybody from Sanctuary that had a name that went anywhere. I'm pretty sure I got somebody for next week's show that I don't want to hint at now. So I know that Christine, our new admin over here, wanted to know about Tobias.
Tobias, he's the one I've always thought, I'd love it if he turned up in a future episode, because, I don't know, he was the first one that really knew or seemed to know something about this virus, and he was the one that sort of gave Madison a heads up. And we didn't see him go, we just saw him dropped off at his parents' place, and so I'd love it if he was out.
Yeah, I think he deserves to show up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. The last time he was seen was Madison helped him push that cart of supplies out of the school, and she was getting into her car, and she asked if he wanted a ride, and he said no, I'll just take off on my own. I know that during Talking Dead, after the season 1 finale, the showrunner at the time was Dave Erickson, and at that time he confirmed that Tobias is still currently alive. So after season 1 was over, he was still alive, but it's been years in their time since then. So
yeah, I remember reading somewhere like that, that they said that he survived that Operation Cobalt or whatever, so that they said he definitely survived that. So yeah,
right,
possibility that he's alive, which would be so good.
Right.
Yeah, I think it would be good that he got to come back. I mean, he, like you said, he knew. He gave her the heads up. He seemed to know about what was going on.
Yep.
So it'd be a good thing to see him.
Right. Yeah. He's the one that was talking about the infection was spreading in five states.
5 states. So like obviously spent time online, because he brought that knife in that day because he wanted to be prepared.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And Madison had to take it.
Right.
And that's what he came back to the school. That's right. He came back to get supplies and to get his knife.
Get his knife. Right. Yep.
I'd be hoping that he's out there. Hoping he's armed with more than just a knife now, though.
Right.
Yeah. Because that was like a little kitchen knife, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It wasn't a huge knife, so.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of knives.
Oh.
Well, if
you use what you get.
Well, true. But
right.
I'd say he's pretty resourceful. I expect he's upgraded since.
And I also know that Lincoln Castellanos, or that's the guy who played Tobias, was asked one time if Tobias was still alive, and he said, "Your guess is as good as mine."
Okay.
So he might be and he might not be. I really don't know. But I mean, yeah, he deserves to come back to get a "I told you so."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If anybody deserves to get to come back, I believe it's Tobias.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be good. I think if they kept him alive, you would think there's either, there's got to be some sort of reason. I mean, he didn't have a huge role, but he did really, because he was sort of pointed it all out to everyone. So you'd think if he's still alive, then he's still alive. You'd hope that there's got to be some way that he'll come back.
Yep. So I hope that answered your question on Tobias. I know that there ain't much there, but what is there says that he could currently be alive. Good evening. Let me introduce ourselves. I am Joe Anderson, and with me is Teresa Berger. And one of the bad things about it is you probably won't never find out either. You would please sound off in the comments.
No, we have to.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot that we're not going to know.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's jump back over to one of the most requested people to find out about, and that's the Baktos gang.
Yeah.
We last saw the Baktos in The Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 4 of Baktos. A little bit about them is after the CDC blows up, Rick and company go back through Atlanta, and they decide to make a pit stop at the Baktos hideout because they needed somewhere to stay at that time, that night. So when they get there, they find that everyone is dead. Shane makes a comment about everybody being shot in the head. The only thing that you don't see is Guillermo, Grandma, or Felipe. So whether they got away or whether they just didn't want to pay those actors to come back to be dead, I don't know.
Budget thing.
Yeah, I said it's a budget thing. They probably didn't want to pay them to come back.
Right, not to have them shot in the head. Talking Dead at the end of at some point in time, he had Robert Kirkman on the show, and Chris Hardwick asked him about the Vatos, and Kirkman flat out said, "All dead."
All dead.
All dead.
I remember that. So you would think.
Go ahead.
That's a harder one to come back from. That.
Yeah, that's a hard one to come back from.
Right. I do know that Karen Goldenthal, who's a member of our group, did point out to me, and I couldn't find it. Everything online was deleted at this point. That a deleted scene from season 2 DVD release shows the governor going in there and killing them all.
Oh, okay.
From what I read, they said that they took that out because they didn't want the governor to be seen before he was introduced.
Oh, okay.
And, there's all kinds of people that say, well, you know that the governor did it because the governor had the bag that said sheriff on it. You know, the bag of guns that Rick had that said sheriff.
And he found Merle somewheres.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Christine.
Oh, no, I was just saying, when Teresa said about that, that governor had Merle with him.
Right.
Because they had gone back to Merle. And
Because, you know, Merle talked about he was in a bad place when the governor found him.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we all know he was in a bad place at that time.
He was missing.
He cut his own hand off, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I can tell you that the governor, that as far as that bag is concerned, they said that the Vatos were all shot in the head and everything was gone, all the drugs and everything was gone. And the people saw that bag and said the governor had to do it. Well, after the fire, when everybody got split up, Andrea had the bag of guns that said sheriff on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Where did Andrea end up?
at governor.
Let me,
Right. So
I'm slightly confused. Are you talking about the sheriff's bag?
yeah, the sheriff's bag with the guns in it. Everybody.
I thought Rick and them went back and they got that back though, the bag with the guns in it.
Right. Well, not after the fire, because him and Carl are limping away. Remember him and Carl limping away in each other's arms, saying, "Don't look back."
I got you. I was a little out of order there. My bad.
Right. Oh, that's all right. Well, the bag came from what I could find out, and Mike said never noticed that. Yep. I never noticed it either. It was just something I actually read, and when I went back and looked at it, that was the way it was. So, yeah. So the governor got the bag from. Governor had to have gotten the bag from Andrea, and of course, Rick had to have gotten it back from the governor later on because he buried it outside of Terminus, right? It was the same bag. I'm not quite for sure, but
I'm not sure if it's the same one either.
But he did bury a bag outside of Terminus, so
Right.
I'm not 100% sure on that. But so as far as everybody's concerned, Mike said there's a chance. Yeah. Well, they went out of their way to make it not the governor to be the killer. So I don't think the governor killed him. I think he got the bag from Andrea, and that was the end of the Vatos. They just got overrun because they had guns and drugs.
Yeah, it shows the bag laying in one of his rooms. You know, after Andrea and Michonne are taken to Woodbury, at some point in time, I remember the camera panning in around the room, and it shows the bag laying there along with the katana. So I think, the governor got the bag from Andrea.
Yep. So,
that's definitely what they. If they go in and show something specifically like that, that's what I think. You know, that's the clue that they're giving us. So,
Yes.
Definitely from Andrea.
Right. So, yeah. Let's see here. Let's jump back over to Fear the Walking Dead one more time. Somebody was asking about Walker and Lee, aka Crazy Dog.
Yes.
Huh?
Oh yes, because they made it all the way out to, or followed them to the dam.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time we saw them was where they were up, in sniper position, and they were protecting Nick from Proctors. So,
Yep.
And then when the dam exploded, and then Nick and Alicia and Madison are all floating down the river. They left then, obviously thinking there's nothing they can do anymore. So that's definitely the last we saw of them. So
Right. And they headed north, wherever north is. So, and they know how to live off the land and everything. And so there's always a chance that they could show up in a future episode.
yeah,
Unless they get blown up in this ending that we just had in Fear, which I doubt. I don't think that they're anywhere near where the bomb went off. So there's a chance the Walker and Crazy Dog can at least come back. They were such a big presence in that second season. So there isn't no reason for them not to bring them back.
Yeah, I mean, because they've shown them going there and nothing else. So, and they were going to go
And
family.
to be honest, go ahead, Christine.
No, that's right. No, I was just saying they were heading north to other family members or whatever, and that was it. Didn't see anything else of them. So.
Yep.
Yep.
Teresa, what do you want to say?
I was just going to say I wouldn't be mad if they brought Walker back at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at all. I liked his character.
Yeah, I did too. If they brought them back together, that would be probably good too.
Yep.
So, Walker and Lee.
So let's see here. Let's get to another popular question, was Heath. The last time we saw Heath was in season 7, episode 6, where Heath and Tara had left together on a run from the satellite outpost. So of course, they got separated on a bridge where Tara ended up at Oceanside, and we never saw Heath again. So, there is Heath or isn't Heath, alive or dead? What's your all's thoughts?
I think.
Okay, it was confirmed. It was confirmed by Angela Kane that he was taken, that Jadis did trade him off to CRM. The only question being is, like, how was he traded off? Was he a B or was he an A? Is he, was he used as a test subject? Or when this second season comes around, are we going to see Heath maybe as part of their military or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I do hope they conclude it for us. They tell us something.
You guys talk. I'm talking to Ann real fast. We want to try to. Ann, if you're there, let's see here. There should be a.
But yeah, I hope that they. I hope that they do tell us something in the second season of World Beyond. That we get to see something about Heath that shows us what happened to him.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, if you look in the, like when Rick finds the when he goes to the scavenge yard, he's standing up on the pile. You can look back in the back and see that RV camper that Heath and Tara had been in.
Yes,
so,
yes.
I mean, that proves that she took him.
Yes, yeah. And they're saying when Rick's being taken away, or before that, then Jadis is still, she's got that RV. So
I'm not sure if that's the same one or not. Do you think it's the same one?
I don't know. I remember seeing it, but I don't know. I remember reading it online and someone saying, "Oh, that must be the one." That's why they put it in there to show that he is still alive when he's gone with them. So,
I mean, it's a little small one like theirs was, and it could very well possibly be because, like I said, she had it parked there at the garbage yard, whatever you want to call that place.
Yeah, scavenge yard. I don't know.
Yeah, the scavenge yard, or yeah. So it very well could be the same one.
Yeah, I think maybe if in World Beyond, I don't know how they're all going to link it, but definitely for the movies, you would think if he's gone to the CRM and he's where Rick is in the Rick movies, then definitely you would think he could come back for the movies.
Yeah, they need to. I mean, as much as he's been a very popular subject, people's wanting to know, they were asking, what happened to him? Well, Angela Kang came out and said, yes, he was taken by the CRM, but that wasn't enough.
No.
That just wasn't enough.
No, we need more.
We want more.
Yeah, I think, if they've shown those little clues and she said that, I'm thinking surely they're going to go somewhere with it. They can't just say.
Well, Scott Gimple did say that we're going to see familiar faces the second season of World Beyond.
Yes.
But we are not going to see Rick Grimes.
Yes, because everyone straight away go, oh, Rick's coming back. But
yeah.
I've heard that.
Rick Grimes is not going to be one of those familiar faces. So, could be Jadis, could be Heath. Hopefully, it's Heath.
I'm hoping Heath.
And who knows? It could be Althea and the ones that got in the helicopter at the end of season 6 in the finale.
That's right. Well, that's obviously they've got to somehow be drawn into it as well, because they've now gone from there. Hopefully,
so
and so there are so many different ways all these series, the 3 series, could be linked. It's like, and the movies. It's like, come on, you got to do it. Bring it all together.
Yeah, come on now already with these movies, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess they're waiting until, like, you know, after the season ends.
I guess so. But they don't want to leave it too long, though, to release it. So, I don't know. I'm looking
They need to have it ready to release the day after the season or the series finale airs.
Exactly. Otherwise, we won't be able to handle it. Wait too long.
Right.
And Mike says that's a very good theory. Keep going to World Beyond. And I don't have anything to add to that. You guys pretty much covered everything that I had to say about it. So.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
You broke up there, Christine.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying it definitely is going to be a thing. It's got to happen. There are too many foods leading to it. So
Right.
I'm hoping all going to tie together. World Beyond is I don't know. I've heard them say that it's it's a limited series, only 2 seasons, but it's there to sort of bring in the other series together and sort of link to the movie. So, and because it's the CRM,
it's like they wanted to tell this, like get enough info out there about the CRM without having to like bring it into the Walking Dead and Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yeah. So to sort of have all of this info, I think, sort of meaning that we're going to see, how the other series fit in with it. So they're all got links to the CRM now. So,
yes.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool.
Yep.
They have.
But you got Fear that's behind them by a couple of years right at the moment, so they'll have to do a time jump to get back up to where.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see a time jump when it comes back with 7.
Yeah, with Fear. Yeah, I think so. So is it about 3 or 4 years behind, or not that much? Not that many years behind?
I think I figured about 4 years, but I always try to figure out the timelines around Judith's birth. I don't know why, and I came up with like 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
But that's me.
World Beyond, it's totally in the same.
World Beyond and TWD are on the same timeline.
Yeah.
They started out 10 years after the outbreak.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's Fear. So Fear, if it's the only one to catch up, I think they will. They'll use this, whole second apocalypse, nuclear apocalypse, to go jump a couple of years, try and catch up.
Yeah.
Right. So, and last but not least tonight is Teresa's favorite subject, Dwayne.
Dwayne.
Okay, Dwayne is introduced in the premiere episode of the TWD. In Season 3, Episode 12, Clear, Morgan tells Rick that Dwayne turned after he was attacked and bitten by his mother. So, could Dwayne still be alive? Teresa has a theory she wants to float for us.
Well, okay, I watched the episode to get to what Morgan says. And he says that, he came out of the cellar and there she stands and Dwayne can't shoot his mother. So he shoots, Morgan shoots her, and he says, and then she was on him and all he could see was red. All I see is red. Everything is red. And he said, I do it. I finally do it. And I think when Morgan says, I see red, I don't think he's talking about actual physical blood. I think he's meaning that he's angry, and that he's so angry that he's seeing everything is just red. Because if you go back and you watch, you got to go to Fear. There's 2 episodes in Fear of the Walking Dead, season 5. One was Skid Mark toward the very end. He and Alicia are talking about, he finally comes out and starts talking about his family to Alicia. And he kind of like tells the story about him not being able to kill the mother or his wife. And Alicia asked him what was his name, what was their names. And he says, she was Jenny. He's Dwayne. He talks about Jenny in the past tense, but he talks, every time after that, he talks about Dwayne. He talks about Dwayne in the present tense, like he's still alive, like he's maybe realized that he wasn't bitten and that he just ran off and thinking that his son was bitten.
Right.
And he also tells Grace the same thing in 200 miles, or not 200 miles, but 200 words per minute. He tells him, or tells her also, his name is Dwayne. Her name was Jenny. Now, to me, that means something to me, because when you talk that way, you're in the past in one person, and then somebody else in the present.
I think so.
Maybe
I
it's
think
just me.
like he deliberately did it like that. That's what I think. Dwayne's still alive. I want him to be alive.
I want him to be alive too. And also, and I think too, there is an Easter egg in Here's Negan. When Negan goes back to the building wherever those bikers are keeping him, when he goes back and they have the doctor there and he rescues him, and then he finally gets that one biker and ties him up, and he's talking to him, and he tells him about him and Lucille being in the bar, about him getting in that fight. And he says, you know, I always heard people talk about, you know, they get so angry they see red. He said, I thought that was just talk. He said, but no, it's not. I actually got so mad that I saw red. He said, when that man came toward me, it was like I saw blood. I think it's kind of an Easter egg to what Morgan said back in season 3.
Yes, I hadn't even thought of that. That is true.
I don't know. That's just me.
You think like, because that seems like quite deliberate to put that in. Just say
I think that's very deliberate.
Yeah. So I hadn't even thought of that. I was reading, you know, the episode 19 where the one that just had Aaron and Father Gabriel, and they're sitting, you know, in that place, and they're drinking whiskey, and so the name of the whiskey is Dwayne Jones.
That too.
So,
yeah, that too.
Well, you know,
I think that was more as a homage to what's that movie?
Oh yeah,
Night of the Living Dead.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's true. I saw
the characters had the same name.
Yes.
But still, yet Dwayne Jones.
Well,
what do you think, Joe?
You also have to think that bottle of whiskey was a lot older than Dwayne was ever alive. So, I mean, the whiskey just isn't an Easter egg to Dwayne in the show. It's a like you said, an homage to the other one. In my opinion, that has nothing to do with Dwayne in this one. So
it was just teasing us.
Right.
Yeah, that was a tease. You know, it's only thing it links was just the same names with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think I read somewhere that Dwayne, they named Dwayne after that character from that movie.
Right.
Yeah, I was paying homage to the movie. Yeah, to like a
right.
You know, an original zombie movie. So I think, but I think, I mean, he could still be alive, definitely, because, you know, like it looked cut and dried when Morgan was talking about it and saying, you know, that she was just there and then she was on him, and you're thinking, well, there's no way he got away, because, I mean, Dwayne was the same as Morgan, couldn't shoot his mum, and that was the thing, that Morgan was so angry with himself that he hadn't shot her beforehand.
Yeah, but he didn't, you know, he finally shoots her, and then he said he's on her, and she could have fell over on him and knocked him out, and he thought his son was dead, you know?
That he got away because, I mean, Morgan was gone when Strand pushed him in there. I thought, there's no way he's getting out of that. But
me either. I thought he was bitten, for sure.
But he, you know, like father, like son, both survived. And I think if Dwayne came back, it would be a way of, like, Morgan and Dwayne would have survived the whole series if Dwayne came back. We haven't seen Dwayne, but if he comes back, obviously he survived, because, I mean, that was the very first episode. So, and I mean, Rick's not surviving the whole series. Well, he's not on the whole series. He has survived. But, yeah, I think it would be cool. I think they could bring Dwayne back. And if they made those little things like, you know, him not talking about his son in the past tense, you have to think that's different.
Just think, Joe. If Dwayne, just think if Dwayne's picture is the one that's on that wall, like, well, not Dwayne's picture, but Morgan's picture, and like, have you seen my dad? Just think. That's your way of getting Morgan off fear.
Well,
you know,
we got some comments. We got some comments I want to say real fast. Mike said that he thinks that Morgan was hallucinating the whole chain of events. He went on to say that the alcohol was an homage to the Night of the Living Dead, with the guy's name as being Dwayne. And I can say that a lot of people on the internet are wanting them to use Michonne's plot line from the comics with Dwayne and what's his face, with Dwayne and Morgan, because Michonne, I guess, finds her daughter in the Commonwealth after thinking that she's dead the entire time. So a lot of people.
But she thinks that both of her daughters were dead. Yeah.
Right.
I haven't, but I know I have read this online that because, well, we can't have Michonne's daughter now, but yeah, have Dwayne instead, and Morgan be the one. Morgan's picture being up there. Have you seen this person? And then it's Dwayne surviving there all along, and maybe making whiskey.
There you go. I think that will be a very good place to end this episode for tonight. I enjoyed it tonight. Do you all have anything else to say about any of the people we talked about?
Don't think so.
No,
well,
I think I'm good.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll end this episode for tonight. I thank you all for coming. And next week we'll be doing part 2 on if they're alive or dead, and just a couple of people we might be talking about next week will be I don't know. I know everybody wants to know about what's her name, the mom from Fear. So
Edison.
So well, I'm sure we'll be getting into her next week. So I want to say good night from me. So have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.